Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Chris Captures here, and this is a little bit different, or it may be kind of familiar if you're a very old time viewer. This is like a top-down setup for some trading cards. The live action One Piece series has just come out. I'm going to talk about it at some point. I am deep in the hole working on my manga review for One Piece as well. Got an hour's worth of audio, 4 hours into the edit. We're going good, so I need something to fill the time. So, here on top of this beautiful Critical Role play mat, we have got some trading cards from Unicorn Cards. I wasn't talking about One Piece for no reason. This is the One Piece trading card game. I've recently started playing it with a few friends. I've got a couple starter decks. I want more because I'm a One Piece addict. Here I've got a card from when I was in Singapore. I managed to get this card, and when I pulled it, it was a very expensive card. Don't know if it still is. And I do have a Japanese starter deck. The box was damaged on the one I was going to pick up, so I picked up the one behind and took out the Yamato deck, whereas I wanted the film deck, so I did a whoopsie. But we got this, and this is a pretty cool set. On to the delivery. Do not bend cards. I have got some individual cards which we'll go through in a little bit. The Yamato starter deck in English this time. I also managed to get the One Piece Red film set, the one that I wanted originally when I got this one in Japan. And then we've got the new Straw Hat set. So we've got SD5, 9, and 8. This is the new black Straw Hat deck, the second yellow deck that we got, and also a purple deck. So I will have red, yellow, black, purple, and blue. So the only colour that I don't have now is a green deck. By that point, we might be making our own decks, if I can manage to get hold of some more singles. I just thought this might be a fun little gap filler on the channel. Which one shall we do? Should we go in order? We'll do the film one first. Okay, so like with every deck, you get a start to play guide, and you got a little play mat on the other side, which tells you how to play, where to put everything, but we don't really care about that. Let's get to the cards. I don't actually know at all what is in this deck. We will start obviously with the Don deck. If you don't know anything about the One Piece trading card game, this is your resource system, Don. Kind of like mana in Magic the Gathering, your lands, or energy in the Pokemon trading card game. And that brings us to our leader for this deck, which is Shanks. Shanks is a 5-life purple leader with 5,000 power. Activate main once per turn. Don -3. You may return the specific number of Don cards from your field to your Don deck. So that can be from anywhere. All your film type characters gain plus 2,000 power this turn. That's actually kind of crazy. That's really nice as a bit of a finisher or to get some attacks through. So there we have our leader. Ooh, okay. And the first card up is the foil Yuta. 4 cost, 5,000 power. Counter 1,000. So she is a blocker. And on block -1, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 5 or less. You could block and then tap down another attacker so that you have less damage going through towards your leader. That's very nice. So you will get 2 versions of Uta. Next we have Douglas Bullet. 10,000 power for 8 cost. 10,000 power is crazy. But 8 cost might be tricky in a deck that is very focused about minus Don abilities. But we'll see if we can figure out a way around that. Activate main once per turn, Don -4, another -4 Don. Rest up to 2 opponents' characters with cost 6 or less. Then this character gains double attack. Ooh, so this is my first double attack card. This card deals 2 damage. Ooh. That is very nice. So not only do you get to rest 2 of your opponent's characters, especially if they've got blockers, you can also double attack to get through. That is kind of crazy. And that will be a 2 of again. So you'll notice with the starter decks that we got here, you get 1 leader, you get 2 of each of your foil powerhouse cards, and then the rest are normally 4 ofs for the rest of your cards. Ian, 5,004 cost on play. Add up to 1 Don card from your Don deck and rest it. Okay, so this is how you keep getting your Don out to afford so many minus abilities. We like this. So that is a 4 of right there. Next we got Anne. 2 cost, 3,000 power blocker. It's nice to see a blocker with more than 1,000 power. We've got Karina. Counter 1,000, 2 cost, 3,000 power. Activate main. Once per turn, you may rest this character and trash 1 film type card from your hand. If your opponent has more Don cards on the field than you, add 2 Don cards from your Don deck and rest them. That's crazy. I'm liking how this. So she is only a 2 of in this deck. So we got 5 cost, 6,000 power, Guild Tessero. On attacking, Don -2, draw 2 cards. And he is a 2 of as well. So we've got 4 copies of this next card. We've got Gordon, 1 cost, 3,000 power, no effects, counter 1,000. We've got Shiki, counter 1,000. 6 cost, 7,000 power. If you have 8 or more Don cards on your field, this character cannot be KO'd in battle. Dang. We've got another 2 of there. So here we have a 4 of Scarlet, Big Monka. 2 cost, 3,000 power, counter 1,000, but it does have a trigger to play this card. Another 2 of, we've got Zephyr, 7 cost, 8,000 power. When this character battles strike attribute characters, so that is this up here. This character gains 3,000 power during its turn. So if it's strike versus strike, you get more. Activate main Don -1. This character gains 2,000 power during its turn. Wow. So if you're attacking a strike character and you're -1 in it on its Don, it will have plus 5,000 power, sending it up to 13,000. Wow, if you're going against a strike leader, that's going to be some big money balls. Baccarat, 1,000 counter, 3 cost, 5,000, no abilities, and that is a 4 of. Bins, 4 cost, 6,000, 1,000. Counter. Buenafista, 1 cost, 0 power, but he does have counter 2,000, and he has, on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 film type card other than Buenafista, and add it to your hand. Then place the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So a bit of deck cycling there. Dr. Indigo, 2 cost, 4,000 power, counter 1,000. He is a 4 of as well. Okay, onto the event cards. Lion's Threat, Imperial Earth Bind, 3 cost. Main, Don -2, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 5 or less. Trigger, add 1 card from your Don deck set as active. Oh, nice. So if you get this, you get an extra. So that's a 2 of. 2 power Union Armada. Counter. Okay, so this has got a counter ability. Up to one of your film type leader or character cards gains 4,000 power during this battle. If that card is a character, that character cannot be KO'd this turn. That's very nice. So you could essentially, maybe, if you've got a decent blocker, slap that onto a blocker, can't be KO'd. You could even do it to a weak blocker. That's pretty nice. Trigger, add 1 Don card from your Don deck, set as active. And that is a 4 of. And that is the entire deck. So let me know what you guys think of this deck. I think this is a really interesting deck to play. So it's a lot of minus effects, but you've also got a lot of ways to bring Don back out onto the battlefield. This feels like a quite nicely balanced deck. You could always simply upgrade this, take the main core of it, and then maybe just update some of these with other cards which counter just as well, but might have additional benefits. Okay, I think next we will look at one of the single cards that I got. Also, by the way, Unicorn cards have packed this lovely, loads of packing around everything, bubble wrap in the box. Cards are separate in a hard envelope so that they won't get creased. Okay, so I've got a few in here. We can see this one here is Leader Nami. We'll check this one out first. 5,000 attack, 5 life. But this is a really interesting card. This is the first alternate win condition I've seen in One Piece card games so far. Obviously, I'm not the most clued up, but I know the thing. I've been looking at quite a few cards. I'm getting into it. But this is the first one that I've seen. When your deck is reduced to 0, you win the game instead of losing it, according to the rules. A Don 1 ability. When this leader's attack deals damage to your opponent's life, you may trash 1 card from the top of your deck, which, when you're trying to cycle through your deck, is a very nice ability. You can find a way to get Nami through. You also get to trash a card. Very, very nice. So, we'll stay in order. We all do. Starter deck, Monkey D. Luffy. Okay, it looks like they've updated how they package it slightly. Oh, and you can see the main card on the front there. Okay, so you got a clear insert, and then you got your cards which are in an actual bag this time. Maybe it wasn't protecting cards as well as they hoped. Different cards have got different card backs. So these are your normal cards, these are your Don cards, and your leaders are red. So let's see if there's anything different with the Don deck. Maybe they got some alternate artwork in here. Doubt it though. Nope, just your standard Don cards. 10 of them. For your mana pool, let's look at the core deck itself then. The foiling is always really nice on these One Piece cards. Here you got 5,000 strike Luffy. Looks like more of an updated Luffy artwork as well. Definitely his costume from Wano. Leader Straw Hat Crew, but he is black this time. Your turn, when a character is KO'd, give up to 1 rested Don card to this leader. Ooh, so it incentivizes you to leave Luffy back to attack opponents, more incentivizing you to attack their rested characters to buff up Luffy slowly. So spend some Don, attack out with a few other characters, then assign your rested Don to your leader. That's a nice, interesting way way to play that. So we've got our first two of here. This is Uta. This looks like a younger version of Uta though. We do still have Shanks in the background there. 2 cost, 3000 power. So if you see, this still says film. This character cannot be KO'd in battle by leaders. Okay, it's an interesting mechanic. And then activate main, you may rest this character. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. So if that was given to someone with cost of 2, they would have a cost of 0, 3, they would have a cost of 1. So that is probably going to play into this deck wanting to have low cost characters so that you can KO them easier for cheaper. So like I said, 2 of them, super nice foiling on there. Especially the rainbow foil looks really nice with Uta's colour palette and personality. Oh, the next 2, Shanks. Beautiful, with Shanks's pirate crew symbol in the background there. 9 cost though. Wow, this is expensive. 10,000 power though. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand. KO all characters with the cost of 1 or less. Oh, okay, so it's expensive. But if you manage to cheat out a version of Uta, maybe reducing costs of characters to then get them down to a certain level to finish and use Shanks to knock them out, that's kind of crazy. This helicopter is going on like mad. They are looking for someone or something. We have 4 of Gaimon here. 2 cost, 4000 power, counter 1000. Really interesting that Gaimon's got his own card. And that he does so much power considering he's stuck in the chest. That's interesting. Next 4 of that we've got here is Kobe. Young Kobe as a Marine. So it's interesting we've got the older version of Luffy, but then we seem to have early characters in the story and younger looking versions of characters. Is that young Luffy in the background? That is also young Luffy there as well. So Luffy and Yuta knew each other as kids, I'm guessing. 4 cost, 1000 power, 1000 counter, so he's not too strong by himself, but activate main, you may rest this character, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 2 or less. Wow. So play Kobe, rest him, KO a 2 or less character. Luffy then gets one of the rested Don cards that you used to play Kobe, buffing then Luffy up to 6,000 minimum. That's nice. Shirahoshi, I believe she's princess or queen of the mermaids. 4 cost, 0 power, counter 1000, but she has blocker, very small blocker. On play, give one of your opponent's characters -4 cost during this turn. Wow, that is a crazy good combo with Shanks. Unfortunately, Shanks will be hard to get out at that point because he's 9, but you use that combo with Kobe into buffing your Luffy. Still works perfectly fine. This is a really interesting deck. This is the first time I'm seeing a black deck, so it's nice to see how the knockout mechanics work. It's mostly based on cost value. So here you have Vivi. Beautiful artwork on Vivi there. The artwork in this deck is gorgeous, maybe the best looking deck that I've seen so far. 3 cost, 1000 power, counter 1000, blocker again, but she has a trigger, which is play this card. We've got Higuma. 1 cost, 2000 power, counter 1000. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. This is where the Lord of the Coast is coming up to snatch him as he's kidnapped Luffy. Okay, another 4 of here. Makino. 2 cost, 0 power. So unless you're using their ability, you're not really looking to play this card. Does have a counter 2000, which is nice to have 4 of in a deck. On play, if there is a character with cost 0, draw 1 card. So if you're comboing off, you get something down to 0 cost, play this. You get to draw a card off already weakening something. Still might not be the best. You might want to hold it back as a counter because that would be a very nice, tricky counter for people to get around. Monkey D. Garp. If you've seen the live action, you know he plays a much bigger role in that than he does in the early chapters of One Piece. 5 cost, 7000 power, counter 1000. That's all he's really looking at doing. Okay, we've got another 4 of here. We have got Monkey D. Luffy. 3 cost, 5000 power, counter 1000. 5000 for 3 cost is pretty nice. He only needs like 2 Don attached to him to be a pretty decent attacker. You know, if you want to get to that 7000 mark, make them burn a lot of resources to block. Oh, I didn't know this was in this deck. Laboon! Is this the first Laboon card we've seen? We love him. 4 cost, 6000 power, great swinger, counter 1000 as well. We love Laboon. Okay, and then another 4 cost. So other than our 2 foils, everything is a 4 of in this deck, which is very interesting. Okay, we have got Mr. 2, Bon Clay, Bentham, Bonkuri, gone by many names. 5 cost, 6000 power, Don. 1 at the end of a battle in which this character battles your opponent's character, so that could be on your turn or their turn. You may KO the opponent's character you battled with. If you do, KO this character. Wow, so Mr. 2 is just an all-out sort of like swinger then. Either way, mutually assured destruction 2 cards are getting taken out. So that works really nicely if you're swinging with Luffy, because if you boost this a little bit, people will want to go to either throw blockers in front of it, or if they're already rested, you're going to want to throw this at it. Something's definitely going to get KO'd. When a character, Mr. 2, gets KO'd and your opponents get KO'd, that's 2 triggers of Luffy's stack. Luffy is instantly up to 7,000 without you having to do anything else. That's crazy cool. Okay, and then we've got 2 event cards. We've got Gum Gum Bell. That's him knocking out Captain Kuro. 2 cost main. You may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Okay, so you can reduce your own life, but you also gain intelligence then because you're getting a card from your life, so you're getting an extra card in hand. Give up to one of your opponent's characters -7 this turn. That's crazy. Trigger, add up to 1 black character with cost 2 or less from the trash to your hand. Wow, so even if you pull it from your life total, you're still getting something back from the trash. That's really nice. I really like how black seems to play by the looks of this. And then you got 2 lots of Gum Gum Pistol when Luffy leaves for his journey, when he's grown up and becomes a pirate himself. Knocking out the Lord of the Coast, 3 cost. KO one of your opponent's characters with cost 2 or less, and trigger, draw 1 card. This deck looks really cool to me. I really want to play this deck. This is definitely going to be the next deck that I play with next time I play with people. So there's a lot of devaluing your opponent's stuff to knock them out. Use their knockout triggers to buff Luffy. It seems like it's all about swinging your leader out. Got a decent amount of counters in here. So that's super nice. Okay, this feels like a really strong deck, especially considering the first 4 or 5 starter decks that they made. So these starter decks are really good value for money, I think, especially this one. Like in the UK, it's only about £10 for a starter deck. That's crazy good for a starter deck in a TCG, like in the West. Okay, seeing as though we just looked at a black deck, we may as well look at a black leader card that I got. I got Smoker. 5,000 power, Don X1, activate main once per turn. Give up to 1 of your opponent characters -1 cost during this turn. Then, if there is a character who costs 0, this leader has 1,000 power during this turn. Very nice. So this works really well, obviously, with Black's mechanics of reducing the cost. If you get anything down to a 0 cost, it gains more power. You'd get 1,000, you would already have 1,000 attached to it. That's a 7,000 leader swinging in there and then. Boom. If you want to see deck text on any of these, please let me know. And if anybody wants to see any One Piece card game footage on the channel, also please let me know. I would be super interested in that. Let's do one more deck before we get to the last card that we've got. Okay, so this Yamato deck is the exact same as this one here, but obviously I don't read Japanese, so when I looked through it, I didn't have a clue what any of these cards did. So this is the basic Don deck, Don, and this is our leader, Yamato. Super foily that. 5,000. I think all the starter decks, all the leaders are always 5,000 at the moment. Maybe the Kaido one or the Big Mom is slightly different. Don ×1. Opponent's turn. If you have 2 or less life cards, this lead against 1,000 power. If you're on the back foot on your opponent's turn, you are getting 6,000 power. So that instantly makes them commit more resources to try and do any further damage to you. Super nice. We've got Yamato's father, Odin. 7 costs, 7,000 power. Don X1. This character gains double attack. And then on KO, you may trash 2 cards from your hand. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to your life cards. Okay, so if this guy dies, okay, you have to sacrifice 2 cards, but you're gaining 1 life back. So it's kind of incentivizing you to play around that sort of 2 life mark, which is super nice, because by the time turn 7's coming around, or sorry, say turn 3 or 4 are coming around and you'd have enough to play this guy, chances are you've already taken a couple hits, so that's going to trigger off pretty nicely. Oh, got an ace card here. Very nice. 6 cost, 7,000 power again, once per turn. If this character would be KO'd, you may trash 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards instead. Okay, so you can sacrifice life to keep Ace on the battlefield. Very cool. Again, a 2 of. So we've got a 4 of here. Hazuki Tempura. I've not got to 1-0 yet, so I don't know who any of these characters are, but I've seen some of the big guys. 4 cost, 5,000 power, counter 1,000. He has a trigger. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 2 or less and add this card to your hand. Okay, so he doesn't actually come out onto the board, but he has an effect and then goes into your hand for you to play. Okay, very cool. The next 4 of is another character that I've been seeing a lot of people posting about. Ulti, 4 cost, 6,000 power. That's very nice for a 4 cost. and counter 1000. Nice mid-range attacker there. We've got Kaido next. I don't know if it's confirmed there is an awoken devil fruit power. 4 cost 5000 power, count 1000. Don X1. If you have 2 or less life cards, this character cannot be KO'd about. Oh, that's super nice. Very nice. So you can just keep swinging him if you're on low life. This is all getting you to play around that 1-2 life mark. Very cool. Okay, so 2 power. Kazuki Momosuke. Wow, I managed to nail that one for a change. 2 cost 4000 power, counter 1000. Okay, this one's got a lot of text on. 3 cost. It's a 4 of. Again, 2000 power. Shinobu the Shinobi, I'm guessing. Blocker. On block, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. This character gains 4000 power this battle. So it makes it instantly a more powerful blocker, so it might not die. And also, you do take 1 damage, but it's more information, more power. Okay. Again, it's sacrificing life to get things rolling on your side of the board. 5 cost, 6000 power. Shimotsuke Ushimura. Definitely looks like Zoro there. Guessing he's either one of his ancestors, if it's an old character, or a relative, because we've been predicting for a while now that Zoro is from the land of Wano. 5 cost 6000 power. Don X1. While attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. Again, sacrificing life to use abilities. But if you do, play up to 1 yellow land of Wano type character card with the cost 4 or less from your hand. Again, you can take life, get a free character out onto the board, and that is a 4 of again. 3 cost 4000 power, count on 1000. Fugetsu Umasubi. Okay, and they also have a trigger. KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters with cost 1 or less and add this card to your hand. Okay, so you could either rest them or you could straight KO them. That's interesting. Oh baby, this next card looks nice. Monkey D. Luffy. Maybe this is just normal Luffy using a bit of haki. 3 cost 5000 power, counter 1000. Nothing too special, but 3 cost 5000. Good mid-range attack, easy to buff. Okay, and then we've got 2 interesting cards. We've got Yamato as a character here, but it'll become more interesting in a minute, especially for me who's not caught up to date. 3 cost 3000 power, counter 2000 this time. When attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life cards to your hand. This character gains 2000 power until the start of your next turn. Wow. Okay, so if you could find some way of readying a backup to attack again, that would be really interesting. 5 cost 7000 power, again, Yamato, but obviously some different form. Counter 1000. 7000 power is very nice by default though. Makes it super hard people to commit to blocking. Got 2 of this. 1 cost event. Nakibura Arrow, I think that is. Counter, if you have 2 or less life cards, give up to 1 of your opponent's leader or characters -3 power. Okay, so instead of you counter buffing yours, it's actually weakening probably your attacker, or maybe if this is going to make it through this attack, you could use it to weaken their next one so then they can't get lethal through or something like that. Also, as a trigger, you may trash 2 cards from your hand, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck into your life cards. Yes! So if you do pull this from your life, you lose 1, but it instantly replaces itself, trying to keep you around that 2 or less life total. And then we got 4 of here. Thunder Bega. Bagua, don't know how you say that. Okay, 2 cost, counter. Up to 1 of your leader or character cards gains 4000 power during this battle. Then if you have 2 or less life cards, add up to 1 of your opponent's characters with cost 3 or less to the top or bottom of the owner's life cards face up. Huh? And so you're getting a buff for quite cheap too, but then you're giving your opponent essentially a life at the cost of a character. Cost 3 or less. That could be interesting. That's a strange one. Trigger, draw 1 card as well, which is nice. Okay, that's really interesting to see how you would use that. Obviously, if somebody's got a good 3 or less cost, that they might be wanting to bounce back to the hand and then play again, maybe if you're playing against blue. Maybe you could put it to the bottom of their life total so they're less likely to draw into it again. That's interesting. So there you go. That is the final deck. This is the Yamato ST9 starter set. So yeah, please let me know which out of these 3 was your favourite deck. I think for me, this black one's the most interesting. We've got 1 card left to look at, and that is this one right here. 1 more leader. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Don X2, while attacking, reveal 1 card from the top of your deck if there is a 7 Warlords of the Sea type character card with a cost of 4 or less. You may play that card rested. So it's basically putting out a bit of fodder. I have got a blue 7 Warlords starter deck, so maybe it might be interesting to play this as your leader and see how it gets on with that deck. Okay, I have seen quite a few people running Doflamingo decks. This Nami one was the one I was really interested in. Couldn't get any alt arts because they're a little bit expensive or out of stock, but having an alternate win condition seems super exciting, like super interesting to play, just to completely change the game for a step. If you want to send me some One Piece card games, I ain't gonna say no, because it's another way to fund the habit. If you want to see some One Piece card game on the channel a bit more often, let me know in the comments down below. Please like the video, and then I will know again that you liked this sort of content. Stay tuned to the channel, so hit that subscribe button right down there so you're ready for the One Piece videos as they come out. Like I said, I'll be talking about the live action soon. I'm in the deep tank doing a full review of East Blue Saga in the manga. Super exciting times coming up on the channel. Thank you very much, guys. See you next time.